Hello, friends, and welcome back to the Brockopp side. Today we got ourselves a movie review of 50 Shades of Grey, directed by Sam Taylor Johnson. This is the story of what happens when you write a Twilight fanfiction on your BlackBerry, which turns into a book, which turns into a movie, which turns into 2 additional movies. Yay. But in reality, this is the story of Anastasia Steele, played by Dakota Johnson, who has to interview Christian Grey, played by Jamie Dornan, and then he gets all interested in her, and then some kinky sex stuff happens, and then it ends on a cliffhanger to set up the next movie, and then a bunch of 40-year-old mothers got boners in the theater, so now we get to sit through 2 more of these movies. So, since 50 Shades Freed comes out next week, I figured the time was right to talk about 50 Shades of Grey and 50 Shades Darker, just so that way I'm all caught up, gotta catch up on your 50 Shades lore before you go into the final chapter and all. There's probably not much to say about this movie anymore since it's been out for about 3 years now, but you know what? I haven't reviewed the movie yet, so that's what we're gonna do. And you're gonna sit through it. You know that you can get out? You ready for this? Alright, let's go. There's only one real positive to this movie, and that's the cinematography. It's a very well shot and well lit movie. There's a great use of lighting and color throughout. The shots are actually kind of inventive, and there's really just a great use of color throughout the film as well. Like at the beginning of the movie when Anastasia Steele goes into Christian Grey's office. Everybody in the office has these grayish blue colors on, and she wears these other brighter blue colors, indicating that she stands out pretty well. But you know what? Just because you can make your movie look good doesn't mean it's actually good. So this entire movie is set in motion because Anastasia's roommate has to interview Christian Grey, but she's feeling sick, so she asks Anastasia, who's a English lit major, to interview him for her. Because what's wrong with doing something like that? Now, as somebody who has spent the better part of high school learning how to conduct interviews and do them well, I can tell you from experience, it's not something you can just pick up and do, so having an inexperienced person go in and interview this, big shot billionaire character for this newspaper, school newspaper, that's just a stupid move on your part, girl. And also, the acting is poop. It's not shit. It's not crap. It's poop. It's like these 2 main leads, they are trying, but they're just not given good scripts, so the performances just come off really bad. I asked if he was gay. Why would you write that in there? Oh, Christian Grey. I had a little too much to drink. I'm totally intoxicated right now. Christian Grey is not that much better either. He's just kind of standing there going, so, I need some rope. I don't make love. I fuck really hard. I play the piano when I'm sad. So it's revealed in the movie that Christian Grey is a dominant after being a submissive for so many years of his life, and quite frankly, he's creepy as hell. I mean, he just says some really questionable lines, and he's got this kinky sex room in his apartment, and quite frankly, the only way he gets away with it is because he's attractive. 'Cause let's just say somebody like me try to do that. I'd be in jail. Yeah. I need some rope. And some tape. And some cable ties. I could just take all my clothes off. It's just not a big deal. And the big problem with his character is that he goes against his word all the frickin' time. It's like when things start to heat up between Anastasia and Christian Grey's like, I can't touch you without your written consent, but then 2 seconds later he's like, screw the contract, come here. I don't do the sex thing. Except when I do. You need to sign this contract. Alright, you know what, forget the contract, just whatever, forget about it. But the one interesting thing about the character is that he's extremely manipulative. It's like he sends these really mixed signals to Anastasia at the beginning of the movie, he tells her what to eat and drink. It's like, that part of it is kind of intriguing. It's just not done well because this is just porn. Which brings me to my next point. Let's talk about the sex scenes, because that's what everybody comes to these movies for. I mean, they're there. I'm sure at least a couple people would see those scenes in a theater and get boners from watching them, but I didn't. And I was all prepared to as well. And these scenes are shot in extreme close-up. They're basically just 2 seconds of Christian Grey smacking her on the ass with like a riding crop, and her going, ah. So this was my second time watching this movie. I saw it for the first time last year because I was just curious. Don't judge me. And there's one detail I noticed this time around that I didn't the first time, and that was that Danny Elfman composed the score for this movie. Oh my god, that explains so much. No wonder his Justice League score sucked. This movie sucked all the creativity out of him. You know, and forget the fact his last memorable score was Spider-Man 2 and all. There's this whole plot point about how Christian Grey, if Anastasia doesn't do what he asks, he has to punish her, and this comes up several times throughout the movie, and then towards the end of the film they force a bunch of tension so that the part can actually come true. So after they do the kinky sex thing, Christian Grey's in the loft, playing the piano, it's all sad and stuff. It's like, and Anastasia comes in and is like, "What's wrong? You sound sad." And it's like, nothing. There's nothing. Alright, I want to punish you, alright? It's like this whole scene, the tension is just so contrived. It's not natural at all. It's like, you were just talking about him playing sad songs on the piano, and now they're suddenly getting it on with one another. It's like, what the hell? Okay, so this is a minor spoiler for the movie, but you know what? It's 3 years old. If you don't know what's going on now, then tough shit. So Anastasia's like, alright, go ahead, punish me, give me your worst. So that makes the audience question, well, what is the worst? What's going to happen? What extreme crap is going on there? You got all these kinky sex toys and whips and stuff on the wall. What's it gonna be? And all it is he takes his belt and smacks her on the ass 6 times. And then she gets all pissed off about it, and she's like, no, stay away from me, go away. Yeah, like, really? That is the one thing that he's done that's just a big deal breaker for you. It's not like he got out the bullwhip and lashed you like a real slave. I guess her stepdad didn't smack her on the ass enough as a kid. 'Cause isn't that where everybody gets that fetish from? Not that I'm talking from experience or anything. It's like in that part just piles on more heavily forced tension, then she's like, I'm done with you, and then leaves, and the elevator closes, and it's like, to be continued! Give us your box office dollars, you assholes! Yeah, this movie's terrible. All in all, 50 Shades of Grey succeeds very well at making a very well-shot movie, but kind of fails at everything else. And yet we still have 2 more movies to get through. So, those are my thoughts on 50 Shades of Grey. Definitely check out my 50 Shades Darker and Freed reviews when they come out. But anyway, if you guys have read the book or seen the movie, first off, I'm sorry. But second of all, if you've seen it, notice down below, and we'll see you on the Brockopp side, where we don't make love.